Hello guys, welcome to another episode. In today's video, we're gonna make some reflective vinyl decals. This is gonna be a very interesting video because it doesn't matter what type of vinyl cutter we use, what blade, what settings, this material is gonna make it really hard for us. So make sure you watch the video and let's get started. All right, let's start with the equipment and softwares. The very first thing that you will need is a computer. It doesn't matter what brand you use, but one thing you gotta keep in mind though is the type of software to vector your images, and we have CorelDRAW. Just make sure that you get the right computer for this. The newer computers don't have DVD player or CD player, so that's one thing you gotta keep in mind. Always make sure you get the right software for your computer. And the next thing that you will need, which is usually the biggest investment for this type of business, and that is the vinyl cutter. It doesn't have to be this in particular, because we have been using the Cameo 4, 12 inches, but this is the type of vinyl cutter we're gonna be using for this project in particular. Now let's go over here and tell you exactly the type of vinyl. So this one is the one we usually use for the regular projects, the regular Oracle 651. We won't be using this. The one we're gonna use, which is gonna make it really hard for us, and that is the Auralite reflective film. One thing I have to mention, and please pay attention, this is what is considered the low grade or cheaper material, although it's not really cheap, because the 10-yard, right now you can get it for about $100 and something. I think it's like $109, and the regular vinyl will cost you about $30. Just to give you an idea, because it really depends where you get it from. But the 10-yard for each roll, like the regular, will be around $30, and this one is like over $100. So very expensive compared to the regular vinyl. The type of transfer we're gonna use, since we get this question a lot, today we're gonna use the Art Tape Clear Choice AT75.1, which is exactly the same as the AT75. And besides the transfer, the vinyl, and all the equipment that we mentioned, you will also need smaller tools like the widder, squeegee, scissors, and all the different tools. I mean, there's a lot of them. Well, I don't want to mention every single one of them. I just wanted to mention the main ones. So you can go and check out our channel and get more ideas of different tools that we use throughout our videos. We got a few samples here that we tried, and you can see here that the blade cut through the paper, not good. Same here, not good. Supposedly we had the settings correct, and when it was time to start cutting or working with the bigger project, we got this. But after a few tries, we finally were able to get good results. So here we have two different kinds of blades. We have the 45-degree and we have the 60-degree. And honestly, with the 60, we get better results. We have been using both. Definitely the 60 works a lot better. And also the settings. Since we have the Graphtec CE6060, we are using Cutting Master 3, and the settings, we have it offset 0, speed 14, acceleration 1, cut force 14. And don't forget that we are using the 60-degree blade. That's very important that you keep it in mind, okay? Secure it. And the next step will be to align our vinyl. I'm gonna bring some of it to the front. This material feels like the foil that you keep at home. I think I've mentioned it in the past, but that's the way to describe this material, the way it feels. And right now, if we increase it by 1, the cut force is gonna cut through the paper. If we decrease it by 1 more, it's not gonna cut all the way. If you guys are gonna be working with this type of material, if you haven't worked with this, I strongly recommend that you guys do little tests. Also, make sure that the logos or the designs are not that small. Like the one we are making right now, they are 6 tall by 16. So they're like medium size, they're not really small. And I forgot to mention earlier about the decals. We're not gonna apply them. We're gonna just make them, and the customer is gonna take care of the installation. I don't know if he's gonna sell them. I assume he's gonna sell them. And that's one thing I wanna talk about, is the type of transfer. It's not like he's gonna sell them on the very first day that he gets them. So I assume he's gonna keep the decals for a few days. And that is the reason we are using this transfer, the high tag, the Clear Choice AT 75.1. And this is the type of transfer that I recommend that you guys get if you sell decals out of state. While we wait for the vinyl cutter, make sure that you guys give us a like, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Also turn on your notifications, and remember that you can get your materials if you go to our website, www.rdidecals.com. Thank you for your support. Guess what? Our vinyl cutter didn't cut through the paper, which is always good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut it, and I can see that's one of the good things about this material. You can clearly see where you have to cut it from, and that is perfect. So I'm gonna start from here. It's time to start weeding out our Oralite 5300 reflective vinyl, and this is gonna be interesting. So I added weeding boxes, but I'm gonna start like around the rectangle. This is just extra. This one's gonna go to the trash, and I'm gonna start from here. Since I'm familiar with this design, I already know like the challenges that I'm gonna face. And the one thing that we usually do, we have to press down. Like, I know where to do that. I'm gonna cut it from here. And now I'm gonna push it down like the vinyl. I don't wanna increase the cut force because now it's gonna start cutting through the paper. This is what I meant by no matter what you do, like if I do not apply some pressure, certain sections of the vinyl will come off. This is the only challenge, like the bottom letters. I would say this is probably the closest that we have been to call it a perfect weed out. I mean, for this material anyway. I mean, compared to the Oracle 651, we will be done by now. This is one of the reasons we avoid offering this type of material unless your customer is willing to pay for the project, because this is, as you can see, it takes a lot longer, more time consuming. And you can see that the vinyl, like certain areas, breaks apart or falls apart without me doing much to it. But I think I'm done with the hardest section. I mean, I have the top layers, but these are much bigger. You see how it falls apart? This type of material, you just got to take your time. That's basically what you have to do with this. I just don't want you guys to take the impression that all reflective vinyl works the same, because no, I don't think it does. I think it has to do with how much you pay for it. As I showed you earlier, this is the economy vinyl. So pretty much you get what you pay for. And I'm almost done. So this is all I have to do for just this one here. I have to repeat this 12 times because we sold 12. We have additional ones to, in case we need an extra one. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep on weeding out, and we'll be back in a second. Now it's time to apply our transfer, and we're gonna secure our decal to our desk. We're gonna use the white tape to secure it. If you guys don't have any extra hands like we do, here's a tool that you should definitely consider getting, and those are the tape application rollers. Not only does it work to apply your transfer, but you can also use it with your Cameo for 12 inches. And now we're gonna do it manually. This is the transfer, I mentioned it earlier, but this is the one we're gonna use for this project in particular. I mean, there are different ways on how you can apply the transfer. Everybody develops their own style. I have seen videos of people applying it like they do it backwards. Or sometimes I've seen people folding, like making it like into like a roll, and then they just apply it on top of the transfer. I mean, I have seen different techniques. They all work. This works for us. We don't want any wrinkles on our decals. That's the reason we did it like this. We came to the end of this video. It wasn't really that bad. Honestly, I was expecting more challenge. Thank God it wasn't that complicated. We have all the 12 decals, although we put a few extra just in case. And remember, a few things I want to point out before we go. If you decide to start working with reflective vinyl, first of all, make sure that you use the right blade. Always try to use the 60-degree blade instead of the 45 because you will get better results just like we did. And also remember that the transfer, we always recommend the AT 75.1. We also have videos about Cameo 4. You can do a lot of different things with that small vinyl cutter. Right now you can get it for $200. We have videos about this vinyl cutter in particular and all the different products you can make. So I recommend that you guys go and check out our channel. Thank you so much. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe, and also turn on your notifications. If you guys want to become a VIP member, just go to the join button and just pay attention to all the information. If you guys want to start using the decal calculator to get estimates for your customers for decal projects, make sure that you go and check out our different memberships. Thank you so much for your support, and see you until the next one.